From inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, it's time for North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. On tonight's show, the coach and I will review North Dakota's split with Denver to wrap up the first half of the season. We'll also reflect on the first half that leaves North Dakota in good shape heading to the calendar year 2015. Coach, good to be back with you again. Denver win on Friday. You bounce back with a win on Saturday to complete the series. Two very tightly contested hockey games over the weekend.
Two good teams playing this weekend, and you know, both games, obviously, you know, when you come out of a loss, there's always a lot of things you want to do better, and we didn't feel like we played our best game. We didn't have great energy on Friday, so we had to come back Saturday with a supreme effort, and I thought we did that. What
role do you think your D-Corps played in Saturday's win? Not only what they did defensively, because team-wise you were good defensively, but seemingly they ignited your offense as well on Saturday.
Well, obviously we were part of some of the offensive numbers, but the biggest thing is moving the puck. You know, it's one of the things we had trouble with on Friday night, was coming out of our own zone. And when our guys are on, when we're playing well on that back end especially, we move the puck out of our own end very well, and I thought that was a huge part of our game Saturday night.
Without a doubt. When we come back, Dave, we'll take a look at Friday night's highlights. North Dakota and Denver split their NCHC series.
North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sioux Shop at Ralph Engelstad Arena, the Greater Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Indian Triumph of Fargo, and by Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Welcome back, Dave. Let's take a look at Friday night's highlights here, and a turning point here early in the hockey game was 7 minutes into the game. You lost Mark McMillan on a 5-minute major. What kind of impact did it have in the game? Not only in the short future, the first period when you had to kill off the 5-minute, but in terms of the rest of the game.
Well, the first thing it does is it saps an awful lot of energy, having to kill a 5-minute major right away early, especially on game number one when you go up into altitude, either CC or Denver. And then, obviously, secondly, from there, you know, Mark plays a key role for us as we're going into our game night planning. He's a face-off man. He's going to play power play, penalty kill, logging a lot of minutes. So, you know, we had to readjust and try to use some other combinations that could work.
What kind of impact did it have on you as you tried to put pressure on them in the attack zone in the first period, as you had to shuffle some lines in immediately?
Yeah, you know, I didn't really think we got a whole lot going. I thought we were coming a little bit in the second period until they scored their second goal. But I didn't think we got any kind of real consistent flow or action going on offensively until the third period when we went to 4 lines with Tucker Poolman up front.
Certainly. So you kill off a little more than 6 minutes of Denver power play in the first period, and yet until the final 90 seconds of the opening period, this is a scoreless hockey game, but Denver will get on the board here, and it all starts with a face-off in the offensive zone. It turns into a goal.
Yeah, you know, and that's a tough way to give up the first goal of the game, especially after we've done a good job working to keep ourselves right in line with this game. You know, offensive zone face-off, we miss a back check, and it ends up in the back of our net.
1-0 after one. Move to the second period now, Dave, and I think there was a series of momentum shifts or possible momentum shifts in the second period. It starts here as Keaton Thompson sets up Michael Parks for the breakaway.
Yeah, you know, this was a real nice play here, and, you know, we had the ability to get in behind their defenseman a couple of times over this weekend. You know, their goaltender made a nice save. You know, it was a pretty good play to take a penalty by the Denver defenseman on that particular play.
Lalezia gets called for hooking. You go on the power play here then. Were there some rebound opportunities for the taking on Friday night as you reflect back on this game?
I thought there was a lot of loose change hanging around that we just didn't quite get to.
Yeah, and so you go on the power play, and then in another momentum change several minutes after the end of your power play, then Denver goes up 2-0 here.
Yeah, and you know, we had you know, the particular play that they scored on, we had done an outstanding job killing this penalty. Second period, long change. We got caught with both defensemen changing, and they took full advantage of that, you know, of that poor line change on our part, and they go up 2-0, and that really seemed to pull the momentum back in their direction.
It did. We go to the third period, but you get momentum back here. You're going to get an early goal just 4:05 into the period, and it comes off a face-off, and Bryn Chiswick gets within 2-1 here.
Yeah, this is just, you know, a bit of a broken face-off play, and you know, Bryn's in the right spot, takes advantage, and there we are. We're right in the game. One-goal game with enough time to go in the third period.
So you have momentum at the time, but momentum shifts back fairly quickly to Denver here, Dave, as you played 4-on-4 hockey, and then less than 4 minutes later, Joey LaLeggia will make it 3-1 here.
Yeah, we made a mistake in our D-zone coverage here. They obviously make a good play, and Joey LaLeggia is probably the one guy that you don't want in that position.
Right.
But 4-on-4, it's a coverage play. They made the play and beat our coverage.
You probably had, if you would agree, your most sustained pressure offensively in the third period. As you had mentioned, you moved Tucker Pullman up, went with 4 lines, had 5 defensemen, and really created some pretty good opportunities in the third period. Yeah, some real good individual efforts that created opportunities and second opportunities for us. We just couldn't punch one home. I thought their goaltender was excellent in the third period to keep it a 1-goal game as well as to keep it a 2-goal game. And we just couldn't find the back of the net. And again, some possible rebound opportunities in the third period. That those are such a fine line between being there at that right moment and maybe not being there at that right moment.
Yeah, and even a couple that we got to. I thought Cowley made a couple of real good second saves on and was strong positionally.
Denver adds a late goal, 4-1 the final. We caught up with Bryn Chiswick and Tucker Pullman following the game.
The penalties early kind of set us back in our heels. We lost a lot of energy killing those penalties. We did a good job of it, but that took a lot of energy out of us, and it was tough to recover, especially with the altitude and everything.
Denver definitely bottles up a few times throughout the whole game. It's something we need to be a little harder on as a team, and I think it's just a mentality thing to change tomorrow.
Dave, did you think on Friday night there was some time when Denver caught you in some fairly long shifts and they were able to sustain some things in their offensive zone?
Well, I just thought our overall energy wasn't very good, and and little things lead to big things. Little things like not completing plays, getting pucks deep, allowing yourself to get good line changes. Those lead to big momentum swings where you do have a long shift in your own zone. You do end up taking a penalty, and those lead to negative things. So, as I said, it's a bunch of little things, and we didn't have great energy on Friday night.
What was the theme as you turned the page to Saturday?
Well, really just come back with our best. It's our last game before the break. We didn't spend a lot of time discussing that, but fact is, whatever the result was Saturday night, we have to live with for the next 3 weeks.
And we'll be back to take a look at Saturday night's highlights next year on North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol.
North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sioux Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, the Greater Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Indian Triumph of Fargo, and by Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Welcome back. Following Denver's 4-1 win on Friday, North Dakota and Denver close out the series Saturday night. Dave, let's take a look at Saturday night's highlights. And your team was very strong from the drop of the puck in this game Saturday.
Well, we knew that we needed to have a better start than we did on Friday night, a sharper start. A more disciplined start, and I thought we did all of those things.
Created some good scoring opportunities in the first 7 minutes of this hockey game.
We did, and this is such a tightly contested series. And coming out of Friday, we just didn't feel we played a good road game, and we wanted to make sure that we did that on Saturday and had that good start. The opportunities we generated were simple ones, but were good ones.
Senior defenseman Nick Matson, a healthy scratch in the prior 4 games, got the nod in this game, and he played very strong game 2 ways for you.
He did. He was good in all 3 zones. Friday night, we literally gave up, 2 goals right off of face-offs. Tonight, you turn the tide, turn the tables. Great face-off play by John Simonson and Nick Matson. Lead to 3 opportunities, this being the third, and Nick makes no mistake off the post and in.
Really good patient play, giving himself a clear shooting alley there.
Yeah, understanding. I think, probably the first thing that you saw was him understanding that their centerman had lost his stick, and he knew he could attack that area, and he did that with a lot of confidence.
Great group of UND fans again in Denver this weekend. You mentioned Zane McIntyre. Maybe not as many as grade A chances for Denver on this night, but McIntyre was solid all night long.
Yeah, he was under control all night. In net, and that lends a ton of confidence to the bench and to what the guys are doing.
All right, it was 1-0 after 1. Second period now, the opening 3, 4, 5 minutes, Denver had a pretty substantial pushback here that you would survive in the opening 5, 6 minutes.
Yeah, our first shift ended up being about 1.5 minutes in our own zone, and that built momentum for them for a couple of minutes, but we were able to get through that and survive that first shift, that first push. And then our transition game really went to work. Again, the night before, we got caught on a bad line change and gave up a goal. On this particular night, we had turned the table on that one as well, and we'd catch them on a bad line change and score our second goal.
Little bend but don't break, and here's some of your defensemen igniting plays. Keaton Thompson, long pass ahead. You're going to set up Bryn Chizik to Nick Schmaltz.
Yep. The Denver player there makes a little bit of a mistake, dumping that puck onto Zane, rather than into a corner. Zane bumps it to Keaton and all the way along Bryn. And Nick had read this play and stretched up ice and made a heck of a play for the goal. 2-0
there, and then just less than 2 minutes later, again, Nick Mattsson's going to ignite this play that'll end up being a goal that'll make it 3-0 here.
Yeah, our group on the ice does a good job of jamming this play and taking away time and space on the wall. Outstanding quick play by Nick to start this play, and then from there it's Michael Parks and Drake Kajula taking over.
Really good pass by Michael Parks over the extended defenseman's stick.
Yeah, it is. He took advantage of the defenseman opening up and really pressuring him. He found the hole right below the stick and got it right over to Drake.
3-0 lead, playing with a lot of confidence now, even though your team is tiring after a long weekend. But I thought, Dave, the entire night you were in control of this hockey game.
Yeah, I really felt. You're going to see a real confident play here by Drake. He just loses the puck right at the last minute. We have another breakaway as we're killing a penalty later this period that Bryn Chizik just doesn't quite get the play to the net, but we really liked the way we were going on this particular night.
Thought you had two important kills in this game. One at the end of the second period, another one to begin the third period. You killed both those.
Yeah, and we did a real good job on those. We got the puck 200 feet, consistently throughout those 2-minute kills. We were able to make good line changes. We killed both of those power plays with real good energy.
Third period, Denver outshoots you 16-3, but again, Zane McIntyre very active here in the paint and protecting the paint and net well.
Yeah, he was good. He was solid. We gave away our defensive blue line a little bit, and that's a little bit indicative of some tired bodies and some tired legs. And for the most part, the one thing that we did do, we stayed real strong in our house. We had 3, 4, 5 guys back in and around the paint and made it real tough for Denver to get any quality chances to the net.
You were just in their grill on this night.
Well, we were, make no mistakes about it. This was a tough game.
Yeah.
This whole series. I'm very impressed with the way Denver played and the team that they have, and probably fitting to walk away with a split.
They have the extra attacker. That was a key save by Zane McIntyre there with about a minute and a half left.
Well, it was. They've got a good push going. They pulled their goaltender early with just over 3 minutes to go in the period, and they had a great push going. So you don't want to allow it to become a one-goal game. Things will really get dicey at that point in time.
3-1 is the final, so North Dakota salvages the split in Denver to wrap up the first half of the season. We spoke with Jordan and Nick Schmaltz and Drake Kajula following the win.
I think we were way better on our breakouts, moving pucks north. I think that all started with our defense. I think our defense was a key part of that, and our forwards played well and battled some pucks out of our own zone.
Started with Zane back in net. He was rock solid back there as always for us. And then our D-core stepped up and just made simple, hard plays, and I think that was a big key tonight.
The first two periods, I thought we really limited them to grade A opportunities, and kind of in the third period, we let up a little more opportunities, but we stuck with it. Guys were blocking shots, guys were getting back hard on defense, and that's what you need to win games like this. So it was gut check time, and we came up strong.
Dave, over the last several weeks, we've seen players take advantage of their opportunities. Colton Sanderson, Andrew Panzarella, a defenseman, Nick Mattson, on Saturday night, who'll go back into the lineup. It seems like there's just kind of a next guy up attitude with this hockey team.
Well, I think those are some of the signs of some of the depth in the room, but most importantly, those are some of the signs of the belief I think that the players have in each other inside of that locker room. We've dealt with injuries for sure as we've gone through this first half. Guys being adaptable, guys being confident going into the lineup, guys playing outside of their regular position and being confident has been a real key for us.
Your team was one tired hockey team at the end of Saturday night.
Yeah, I felt like we really emptied the tank to get the win on Saturday, and the emotional as well as the physical test that we've come through over the last month and a half has been a significant one. Our guys handled it well, and we finished the first half on a positive note.
A very positive note. The winningest first half season under your tenure here at UND, Dave. When we come back, we'll hear from your players on the first half and also a first half recap here as North Dakota heads to the holiday break.
North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sioux Shop at Ralph Ingolstadt Arena, the Greater Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Indian Triumph of Fargo, and by Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
North Dakota closes out the first half of the season with 13 wins. The players say one sign of this team is showing resiliency in certain in-game situations this season, and in stretches of the first half, the team has been taxed with injuries and so forth, yet to bounce back from those on a game-to-game basis and throughout the first half of the season.
I think we were challenged a few different times over the course of the first half, and we got down in some games, but there was no quit in this team in this first half, and that's something we got to carry into the second half too. I think we became a great team so far, and obviously there's things to work on, and we can become even closer. But it's a good start as a team.
I think our young guys have definitely started to step up for sure. Secondly, I think just more of an answer every time we kind of have let's say a slow period or a slow couple of shifts. We kind of found a way to answer it, and I think that's probably our biggest thing, just the strength of our mentality and the strength of our team.
One thing we got to work on is our Friday night games. I think if we can get that Friday night win, and then our Saturdays have been awesome. So if we can play the same way both nights in the second half, I think that'll be huge.
There's always more we can do. We're not satisfied with anything we do, and 13-4 is a good start, and we got to carry that into the second half. And I think leaving the first half on a win is a good way to do that. So we're excited for Christmas break here, but I know guys will be itching to get back here in a couple weeks' time.
Well, Dave, what sticks out for you as you look back at the first half of the season?
Well, for me, it's about growth. It's about development as a hockey team.
Yep.
Yes, we're sitting in a reasonably good position. I think the biggest thing that I look at there as you go into the second half, you want to have the ability to completely control your own destiny. Our team has that in its hands as we go into the second half. I like the growth that we've seen in some the improvement in some of our young players. I like the expansion of roles of some of our returning players. The leadership core and the direction that this team has taken when challenged by tough situations has been positive. So there's a lot to build on from the first half, but I think that's the real key, continuing to build.
A year ago, Dave, at this time, and several times in the last few years, as you've reached this point of the season, we talked about your team trying to build identity as you head to the second half. Your identity of your hockey team, I think, is pretty much in place, is it not?
Yeah, I think we knew that coming into the year. We hoped that we knew that. There's never any things that are absolute givens, but we really felt like we had a great core returning with this group. It was a group of guys that show up and work. It's a group of guys that are a fairly tight-knit team. Now you have to build from there. We do have a good foundation. We've built, a good foundation, I think, inside of the locker room. We've built a good foundation for our season. Now it's that continued push towards our ultimate goals from here.
And as you mentioned, you have put yourself in position to control your own destiny, which is a much different situation than you were in a year ago at this time.
Yeah, you never want to be looking across the street and needing help from from around the country.
Right.
And this group right now can look within. I think we really have to take a look at ourselves and say, where can we get better? How do we improve? How can we become a stronger team? There's no question we need to do that. But I think there's that sense of excitement as well as that sense of urgency within our locker room to come back after Christmas and get back to work.
So you guys will have a couple weeks off. You'll be back to work when, practice-wise?
Well, we're going to go back to work this week.
Yep.
We'll take a couple of days off for finals week. The heavy days we'll stay out of the rink. Other than come in and get some studying done. We'll get back to work this week with 4 or 5 good work days. We'll have 6 or 7 days off over the Christmas break. and come back, you know, refreshed and excited and ready to go for the second half.
We touched on the fans in Denver a little bit, but I want you to have the opportunity to, again, just give the fans a kudos, because they occupied a good part of the building over the weekend.
I saw a sign that said Ralph Engelstad West in the building on Friday night. And unfortunately, we didn't get it done on Friday night. But we came back, we worked hard, and what a pleasure it is to win a game in Denver in front of all of our fans out there.
Okay, Dave, we'll take a couple weeks off on the show here over the holidays. We'll be back with you following the January 3rd game against the USA Under-18 team. We wish you and Aaron and your kids Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks to everybody that watches the show and supports our program. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We're back with some final thoughts next.
North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hakstol on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sioux Shop at Ralph Engelstad Arena, the Greater Grand Forks Convention and Visitors Bureau, Indian Triumph of Fargo, and by Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables too.
Following the split at Denver, North Dakota drops its hold on the #1 ranking in the nation. Boston University collects 16 first-place votes this week to 12 for North Dakota. 5 NCHC teams in the top 12, and 5 different teams collected first-place votes. So North Dakota off now until January 3rd, when it'll play the U.S. Under-18 team. North Dakota with a favorable home schedule to begin 2015. UND will be inside the Ralph the first 4 weekends as we turn the calendar to the second half of the season. Thanks for watching.